Well, map 1 was a brutal affair, especially for the North American side. And as you said so perfectly, they did so many things right, but then they just couldn't get past that final hurdle. Besiktas were meeting them at every single step.
And it was each members from, Krasi stepping up, Petra stepping up, Zaz stepping up. At each moment that Dignitas thought they had that round in their hands, they'd turn a corner and one member from Besiktas with the multi-kill really put a thorn in their side.
And how do you deal with that as a team? You've been an in-game leader. How do you get like that? There's that mental break. You're like, I've called everything right. We did the right things. How do you then go into map 2 and just try and clear that mindset?
I think Dignitas have to really focus on forcing these trades. You know, we saw one really nice trade contact that they had towards that lower secret stairs where Giuliano got a really nice, clean, easy kill. But Dignitas forced that trade. They made sure that they focused on spacing, focused on creating an opportunity for themselves, and then they kind of slowed down. The spacing between each other was a little bit off, and we saw that 1 versus 4 that Krasi had on that nuke. She got a lot of isolated 1v1s in that scenario, and you just can't allow for these types of rounds to happen.
Absolutely, and Dust 2 is your Pugger's paradise. It's where we've seen teams really take it and work with it and mold it into something other than just a Pugger's map, but this is going to be a tough one, I feel, for Dignitas. After that wake-up call on nuke, coming into map 2, they need to pull out everything. It's do or die time. This is it. This is a chance of maybe getting to open, maybe getting to those finals. It all comes down to this map for them, whereas Besiktas, in the back of their minds, you can imagine, okay, one more game after this, and then it's open. And then we're there, then we've proven it, then we have that shot, because it is that bigger picture. And that's what kind of, it hit home when we were speaking to, Vilga, and I know in her mind, she was like, we'd worked, we'd grafted, and we just messed up at the worst time possible because it could have been open for them.
Definitely so, and we just saw the ladies of Besiktas outside, and they were looking as confident as ever, and I know we were kind of, not concerned, but we're wondering, would that day off yesterday kind of slow them down? Would they be as dominant as they were on day 1? And I gotta say, Lauren, they're not missing a beat. They are looking even more so dominant, I think, than they were on day 1. And here we go, we're jumping right into things on Dust 2. And a lot of utility, once again, on the Dignitas side of things. Full set of nades on Reigns, full set of nades on Emily.
What is going to be the plan for them here? I'm curious.
I think this is a B mid split.
Okay. I want to see where Emily goes here. She's kind of working her way around, the top of mid, just kind of keeping that pressure on. Maybe going to flash in, get that pressure towards Giuliano. Zaz is there to support if required, can come over, but it's going to be pretty late in the day. That is really good flashes. That's that utility coming through that we were waiting on. Petra always want to make a bit of a nuisance of herself, but there is still Ether on B, but there you go, overwhelmed, but down to 2. It's still advantage to Besiktas on player numbers at least. Can they get that bomb down in time? Thea having to hold back 3 here, a hard position to be in, and the pressure doesn't seem to be relenting anytime soon. That bomb plant seems pretty far away. It's going to be Artstar trying to go for it now, and this could spur on maybe a little bit more attention, but no, they hold back for this retake here.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate
that... Oh my God!
Krasi to finish things off strong there. Everything was actually in favor once again on Dignitas' side of things. They did a perfect mid to B split, really nice flashbangs, and if you saw, Rain was in such an advantageous position towards the close double doors, and unfortunately she gets easily taken out, making that a 2 versus 3. And it was just a little bit too much to ask for Dignitas because they didn't have any more utility left. The 2 members, they were down. No more smokes, no more flashbangs. And in that scenario, you really have to rely on your aim, and they just got kind of outplayed in that moment.
8 HP being the difference there at the end. That's a one shot coming in from that from the Glock could have changed everything. So we do see that upgrade, the bigger investment, of course, from the CT side. Full on money, getting everything you want, that utility now in play. For the T's, it's B250s, you've got 1 smoke, 1 flash, so maybe you go try and isolate Zaz, see if they can maybe pick her up for free, but Zaz, always gonna make it tough, always gonna make it tricky. What can they work from this?
Oh,
Still
she's gonna have a huge round here.
Zaz readjusting, having a little look, here comes the next smoke. So Zaz completely in the smoke. Good read from the T's there.
Really nice read indeed. I don't think Zaz made a single noise, a single step, but yeah, she just gets taken out right away. And this is going to be a free plant from Dignitas' side of things. Besiktas are all spread out from long and from CT spawn, but this does allow Besiktas to be able to have a pretty easy retake, I would imagine, because they've got all the bases covered pretty much.
And that's a big step in the right direction. Misa getting the double on short does mean that it's game on, and it looks like almost game over. Thea left to try and do everything she can, and she can make it costly at least. That's not bad. Gonna try and keep a little bit of work going. Diffuse gonna be coming through. Cressy did have a kit in case it was required. It won't be, they'll be perfectly fine. Good round, though, from the T's to get that bomb down, do a little bit of damage. That's, as much as you obviously do want a round win, that's kind of what you're asking for there.
Definitely. I mean, they definitely reached their goal and maintained a plant in that round that gives them a really strong buy here. You see Artstar dropping an op over towards Emily. This op is going to be huge into this round, depending on... Oh, and she pulls out a Zeus. Lauren?
You love a Zeus. You love to see a Zeus.
You do.
All right, Emily, let's see what you got. This has to be influential. You've gone for a big investment around it. The T's need this round just mentally to break back into the game. You've had a really rough nuke. You've had that, slow start here. Even though, again, you're doing things right, good plant in the second, you still need that round on the board just to get yourself kind of working towards it. Big bit of pressure towards mid as well. 3 players from the T side keeping some sort of attention towards it. You do have Emily kind of prowling at the top of mid there. Zaz on the other side could be guarding that from a bit more of a passive angle, not super attentive towards it. But look at these players up camp. They've really gone pretty far here.
They have, and Besiktas is putting a lot of focus towards this long A, keeping and remaining with 2 members just focused on that long. Looks like their ball game is going to be to play that retake towards that A, and we saw how successful they were with that retake and that anti-eco. I'm curious to see how they're going to pull off in an actual full gun round, but this is a strong setup, Lauren. Unless they get the easy frags and trades towards this long A, retaking this should be pretty textbook for Besiktas.
It does put a lot of pressure on them. If they're up to the task of retaking, then, as you said, they're in the perfect poised position for it. Zaz winning out in middle. The win out on long as well makes it even trickier for the T's, and suddenly it's all against them. Yes, the bomb's ticking, but you're going to need a big performance from some of the bigger players. Emily and Rain have been great for their side, and now is the time. 2 players working their way forward through CT, and Rain's going to make it tricky for them. This isn't bad. Flash is coming in. Emily, though, gets overwhelmed, and it's the retake in perfection coming through as the defuse comes in. It was getting close, but close won't get you around.
It certainly won't, and man, I gotta point out on Besiktas' side of things, that was so well played. The discipline to not make too much noise at long, not worry about long A or top A. They just focused on that double doors towards that long A. They knew that there would be a lurker. They made sure they cleaned that up before they attempted a retake so that they cannot get flanked by any way, and it works out so perfectly for Besiktas.
Scary team, scary, scary team.
When Zaz is just hopping around like that and just headshotting with ease, that's when you know you gotta be a little bit more worried.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, and I feel like at the end of Team Secret, you saw kind of the downfall of maybe Zaz and Giuliano. I always kind of put them together as a pair because they had reigned supreme for so long. But when you see that confidence coming back in, but with that structure surrounding it, the support system in place, you can't help but take notice, and you think, is this the big return? Is this them coming back towards number 1? Dignitas certainly took their reign for a while. I know a lot of people would rate the North American side as the new queens of CS, but I think Zaz wants that crown back real quick.
I think she does too, but this is a huge change of pace. Dignitas already have that long A control. This is what they were missing in these previous rounds was the looks towards this long A, and Dignitas are already in that pit position, but Petra, of course, with the clean frag, I mean, she's in a very optimal position here, but
that's not bad,
nice,
though.
Yeah.
They quickened the pace there, tried to get towards the side, trying to overwhelm them. They've done that. Zaz is not getting away with too much on short, but there's a lot of players still there. Thea had a go at it, but this is where the main bulk of the hold is. They switched up. They did put that up on towards the site rather than kind of keeping that double stack towards long, but a 3-play retake coming in. Emily, again, so much pressure is on this player. All players coming back in from this position, and you can see the utility being poured in. Emily, you better be ready because your teammates are falling like flies. Rain goes down. They're on the site. Emily's got 1. She lines up the second. It's not quick enough as Artstar left in the 1v2. Bomb is ticking. Time is on her side. But the 2 players stand against her. Can't get past her. Misa says no. The defuse again gonna come through, and as close as Dignitas keep getting, it's that final hurdle they fall at.
It really is that final hurdle, Lauren. I mean, you saw Dignitas this time around, they had that long A control. It gave them a little bit of more looks for that post-plant scenario, they weren't getting as constricted as they were in previous rounds, but unfortunately, just 1 missed shot from Emily. She gets punished. The members of Besiktas were able to make space on them. But this was a nice round from Dignitas. It was a nice change of pace. They were able to focus towards that long A, only allow Petra to get that 1 kill. If they're able to do this and focus on that spacing, these rounds should continue to get closer and closer for themselves.
The issue is we do see that double stack on long again. It is going to be kind of relented slightly. You do have one player kind of falling back, maybe just watching that cross. Zaz finally goes down. We haven't seen that before. This could create an issue for those rotations from B. You suddenly don't have that safety. It's put on these two players who are on A, but Petra is one of them. And Petra always seems to be able to find something here, and that looks so damn close. Rain, though, going to be towards the side. They can get at least a safe plant in this if they can keep control of Cat, but they have so little room to work with. They are just kind of cornered into this area.
They are, and once again, we're in this scenario where Dignitas don't really have much control over anything, but you know what? This time around, they do have that full deep Cat control. That's going to give them a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah,
it's really going to be up to Rain here. She's got to get a clean kill.
Oh, I don't know about it. All-Star's still there, making a nuisance of herself. That's good. This is finally the fight back. Rain makes a big impact in this one, and Krasi left with the weight of the world on her shoulders. Not going to have it as Artstar and Rain combine and deny all of that. Artstar got away with a lot there, and Rain kind of building off the back of each other.
She did. Rain played that really well, playing off of Artstar's contact. I mean, you saw Artstar kind of gathering that aggro of the long A elbow players, and that allowed Rain to pick off these CT players coming up that ramp side. And kudos to her for landing those shots. I mean, they certainly aren't easy shots to hit. And this is where it all starts, Lauren. This is how you start putting some rounds on the board. You see Besiktas are already on an eco. I mean, they had what somewhat looked like a dominant start to this half, but already they're up 4-1 and they have to eco. So Dignitas are certainly doing their due diligence. They're doing their job, keeping Besiktas money low. This is how you get yourselves back into the game.
I want to see this round be clean, though, from Dignitas. I want to see all rifles up. I don't see like needless deaths here, and it's easier said than done. There's a big stack of the CTs kind of lingering around CT spawn, but caution being shown by Dignitas. Don't want to take things too lightly. Milk needs to be careful. Going to play ahead of all of this. That's going to be information gathered. They know what's up now. They need to be careful to not feed into the machine that waits towards CT. The bomb is on the way towards B. Giuliano gets outdone by Fia. Should be game on here. Zaz and Misa still alive, but for how long? They do get an AK out of this one. Zaz might go head back and save that, supplementing the armor quite nicely.
It got a little messy. Things got a little messy there for a moment, but you know what? Dignitas do their job. They make their focus towards that B and make sure Besiktas aren't in any position to make anything really happen. So well played from Dignitas' side of things. Besiktas do get to save an AK here, I think, and Dignitas aren't really in a position to hunt them down. They also have very low money. So I doubt they're going to actually be able to take that AK out of Zaz's hands. But this was a nice round from Dignitas. Once again, they're able to put another round on the board and kind of build up some confidence. I mean, you could see also they weren't really sure of Besiktas' money in that round. They kind of treated this round as if it was a gun round. They didn't really understand that Besiktas would have been saving. But this gives them an idea here that Besiktas are already on a save. They are controlling that economy. They're in this game still.
All right, Dignitas, I want to see a string of rounds now. You do have the buy coming back in. You have the AWP out on Giuliano. So I think that's the first time we've been seeing at least Giuliano on the AWP. I think we saw Petra earlier with it, posted up on towards A plat, but this is where it gets a little bit different. Emily now, watching the cross. Doesn't get many opportunities on it. Smoke's already there. They've got the checklist. They don't need to be too worried. Giuliano being denied the peek towards the tunnels. She was wanting to be aggressive. A couple of flashes keeping her at bay for now, but she does now have at least a spot towards that if she fancies it. Quite, I don't want to say forward positioning, it's not really, but it's definitely wanting the fight there, and that's very Giuliano-esque. Willing to take any fight possible, but this double stack on short is about to be tested. Rain's there, gonna pre-fire the corner a little, force them back. Nice Molotov, gonna keep this going. This isn't bad, this is that checklist, right? It's how to take short 101, just kind of going through the motions of it, and it's working out quite nicely.
Checklist indeed, I think that's perfectly described. I mean, they are dotting their I's, crossing their T's at the moment, and pushing Besiktas back, and that is a nice pick off through the smoke from Rain. This puts Besiktas on the back foot 100%. Now they're doing the right movements, the mobility to give up A and go towards long A to Artstar.
Krasi though, keeping things at least somewhat ticking in a decent enough direction for them. It does mean they have that long control now. Yes, they lost out on a player for it. This retake's pretty far off as well from the other two players. Giuliano playing retake on the AWP is going to be really tough. Misa also there. Do they opt to go for this? They don't have much step towards it though.
They don't, and their money is pretty low. I imagine they're going to be setting up a perimeter around this A bomb site and see what they can do, see if they can actually get a pick off before they start moving more closer towards that site. But it looks like Misa will be the player to kind of look around, see what she can make happen. Yeah, and I imagine the rest of the players here are going to have to save. Oh,
I'm surprised Cressy went for that.
Yeah, she was pushed up pretty forward.
There was clearly a little bit of they wanted to go for it. There was not so tentative as I thought. I think we're going to have a tactical timeout after this one. Maybe a discussion point here, because it looks like Dignitas do have at least somewhat of the, I don't want to say momentum yet, but they have built from what they previously had. This is their time now to start stringing things together. And this is where if you're Besiktas, you need to find an answer. Your money's in a really bad spot, so you need to find a way back in now.
They definitely do, and Besiktas' strength, I think, was doubling up towards that long and kind of giving up that A, but we saw in these last 2 rounds that Besiktas have been playing cat, and they kind of just gave up long A. I think their strength is probably going to be to give up A, play that retake. Their retakes have been really solid, and put their focus towards that long A, because at the moment, that's where the strength is from Dignitas.
See if they can work that out. It probably won't be in the next round, of course. It'll be the one probably following that once the money's back in a position where they can all get that nice purchase around them. Giuliano still definitely can be a danger here, but doesn't want to kind of overcommit, lose that AWP. It's such a big piece of the puzzle. Emily going to try and catch something down middle. Nothing to be found. And the T side needs to keep this clean again. You still cannot give up these opportunities, and Giuliano being played it. What on earth was that? Giuliano misreading the timing, or maybe just misfeeling that that aggression was going to be coming straight up towards Cat. Milk straight away going to try and exploit this.
Yeah, that timing was unfortunate for Giuliano. She had no members spotting that mid, and unfortunately, if you don't have that kind of intel, information is everything, and so she definitely gets caught off guard. Kind of unfortunate there. Emily, and she's going to get flanked now.
Oh my god, this is a 3v3. We've
and
got
Petra's
a rifle
going back towards long with that AWP.
I'm a little scared. I shouldn't be, because there's no armor, there's no kits, there's one. You know, it shouldn't be a problem, but I get worried when I see this. That's good from Thea. Brave play, and this should cool off the hunt. They should just save these guns.
Yeah, absolutely. No kits, no armor. And they are a little bit on the back foot economically, so it's good that they get themselves an AWP, good that they get themselves an AK. And all things considered, this isn't the worst thing in the world for Besiktas to come out on top with 2 guns. But this was a nice round once again from Dignitas, really brute forcing their way through that cat and getting that bomb down at A.
Yeah, Milk, again, I really enjoy watching Milk. She has that nice balance of when she needs to be aggressive, she's willing to just go for it, you know, willing to get in there and just do what's required for the side.
She absolutely is. She's got that no fear within her. I mean, she's got full trust into her teammates, and you can absolutely see that from her play style. She's willing to go through those smokes with the pop flashes. She's certainly a really nice entry for the ladies of Dignitas.
Okay, we have the full buyback for Besiktas. That timeout before, previous to that last round, should be their answer to this, and I think you are spot on. It's regaining that control over long, but look at this switch up, this instant, all right, well, you're going to try and counter what we've been doing. Let's try and throw a curveball back at you. Let's see how well you're ready for this, because Cressy and Petra are over by A long. Zaz has fallen back off this. A little bit more of what we saw at the beginning here, but this is a big presence towards B. They instantly made noise, instantly decided to pull the attention there. So Giuliano and Misa certainly on notice, but they could fall off this too.
They certainly can, and in this round, Besiktas, they did go back towards that long A. And I kind of like this contact play that they had somewhat going on. I mean, you can see Thea, she's kind of bluffing that default that they've been doing towards that cat. And it looks like they're going to try to do a B contact play with some distractions towards mid here. This kill for Zaz is going to be huge if she's able to get a clean kill for herself. Oh.
Baited in so nicely. Zaz, 1-for-1 traded out. Giuliano was watching towards ramp, but now she needs to support towards B itself. Misa trying to play swivel on the site. Got 3 players now walking towards her. Does get picked up by Rain pretty handily. Yes, taking some damage on the way, but they've got the site all to themselves. Bombs can be planted, and Cressy and Petra a mile away. Giuliano out on an island here. Gonna have to try and find something quickly, and nothing's being presented. Emily's still alive, can keep them at arm's length, and the CTs, we all know how hard it is to play retake on B, but they have some utility. It's just, can they get the opportunity to even use it?
This should be a pretty difficult. Retaking B with that off is never easy, and a nice shot from Emily to really secure the round for themselves here. This was, once again, such a nice call from Dignitas' side of things. You know, we mentioned that they were putting a lot of focus towards that A. They were hitting that cat. And Besiktas this time around put their eggs in their basket for that long A.
We love eggs in basket.
I do. I don't know why I keep saying eggs in basket, Lauren, but...
You hungry? Do you need to get some catering out here to get some like scrambled eggs?
But yeah, I mean, and this weakened their B mid side of things, and Dignitas fully exploited that, and they get rewarded for it as well.
Smart little read from Dignitas. This is what this is the game we wanted to kind of see. Maybe I don't want to get excited yet. I don't want to start thinking about 3 maps, Christine. I don't want to get ahead of myself. They've got 1 round lead for once. I'm going to chill out.
They do. But you know, it's looking good. I like the calls. I like the pace. And Emily with a nice spawn towards long A, going for that look, and Petra full blind. Yes. That's just a timing thing. And Petra punishes Emily. You know, I thought Emily had a nice play there. She was utilizing her spawn, trying to get that quick long A pick. But unfortunately, Petra just timings her.
Feels very CS, man. Zaz playing in towards CT still, just keeping them preoccupied. 4 players left for the Dignitas team, but how do they want to take this? Where do they want to go with it? Where are the options? Where are the availabilities going to come from? Thea falling slowly away from B as Milk and Rain start their journey up cat. Artstar holding. See if there's any mistakes from the CTs, but I don't see that these days. This doesn't feel like the old, team secret of yesteryear where you'd see crazy aggression all the time, maybe overstepping their bounds. This is a way more drilled side. Now, I don't know how it works out. This round is yet to be seen. Petra is still watching this cross, does have the AWP, so if Milk does go walkabouts, Petra will definitely say hello, but Rain and Artstar are starting to build towards mid. Zaz does get smoked off, up on the box, but can't find much from it.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge round for Rain entering towards this B. Let's see if Giuliano picks her off at that window side.
Yeah, that's just Misa waiting. Zaz just kind of like dipped through the smoke, saw both players running up towards the ramp. Thea, too many angles to look, and there's the answer back from Besiktas. 5 alive, a lockdown. That initial pick really put everything into motion.
It really did, and you could see Dignitas kind of freeze up in that moment with a man down. They really didn't have exactly the perfect call or the read within that round, and sometimes that happens, I mean, you get picked off like that kind of unexpectedly. You need to have a second game plan for sure.
No freebies yet for Emily in the
This
middle.
might be a fast cat play.
This does look quick. This looks very quick, and I want to just be looking at Zaz here. Zaz, Petra, Krasny, all going to be put to notice. There's that utility to slow this down. As soon as they felt that pressure out, you could see that utility put down. Zaz waiting over by Goose, just looking, seeing if anyone's going to be showing. Good flashes again from the T's, and big pressure. Krasny in the middle of no man's land. Not where you want to be going, and maybe that smoke towards CT really put her on notice, and winning out against Zaz, it opens it all up. Petra on the line though, still going to find 1, but 1 is not enough here as Artstar going to control long. You've got everything the T's need for this plant to come through.
That was nice timings from Dignitas. They just waited out that molly, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually took a little bit of damage and went through that Molotov at the last burn to be able to timing Besiktas and make their way into that A bomb site. You saw that CT player just so not expecting Dignitas to already be past that smoke, and they completely get rewarded for this. 4 members alive still on Dignitas' side of things. This was a really nice play, a nice audible on Dignitas' side.
I'm enjoying this T side now. Now this is the Dignitas I was seeing able to beat Copenhagen Flames. There's the ones who can go toe-to-toe with the firepower that comes with these European teams and having that strategic element layered on top. I want to see more of this. I want to see this keep building. This is a really nice little mind game between the two sides. You're seeing this back and forth round by round. Adjustment is a bit of a boost and a bit of a play towards short. Very attentive, very quick. Zaz and Krasny both there. Rain could be in for a surprise. Doesn't expect it. First time they've seen it. Zaz gonna get the better of Rain that time around, but they're gonna fall back off this. Good like a little initial hit, and there's that CT aggression. When it's layered in correctly, that's lovely. Attention from short, attention in B tunnels, and you're getting Dignitas surrounded on both fronts.
And that's so unfortunate for Thea. This entire half, Thea has been waiting for that B push to try to look for the opportunity to punish them, but Giuliano gets the better of Thea in this moment. And now Dignitas find themselves once again with a man down, and Rain pretty much almost dead to rights in this moment, but they still got a minute left, and that's a nice shot from Emily to put some damage onto Giuliano.
There's a little bit of a gap, and a little is a lot when you're Petra, but Milk, do you know a little too much? I mean, how are you doing this? That was so well played, and Milk's basically got A for them. That's a huge step. that could be a bomb plant. The bomb's on the way. Like, wait, we didn't actually expect you to get that cleanly. But again, you will have to look at the retake potential in this one. You still have those 2 players posted up on long. You have Misa and Giuliano working back in from short. Rain and Emily are there. So again, there is still a bit of a fight here to be had for Dignitas.
They are, but you know, they've got that smoke. They've got this deep cat control. Dignitas are in an optimal position for this post plant for sure. It's really going to be up to Giuliano. This pop flash through the smoke. Let's see if she can get a nice quick kill for herself.
Ooh, quick kills, all going to be for Dignitas. As Misa just watched her team get slaughtered, it might be time to fall off this one. Not going to be able to get away with it. And honestly, I'm so impressed with Dignitas here. They've been working out some of the issues. That little pick from Milk was just huge. I didn't see it happening. I thought that Petra, I think it was Petra with the AWP, was watching that so perfectly, but Milk, she's got away. Rain does go down. In the meantime, Rain did take that damage earlier on, but still, this is a big performance from Dignitas.
This is a really big performance from Dignitas. And to talk a little bit more about that smoke, we saw a similar type of 200 IQ smoke or non-smoke on
That's where it
Nuke.
came from. It was a boost.
Yeah, and we saw it on Nuke as well.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of didn't throw the smoke, made Petra look on that line of sight. So we're seeing some little gimmicky plays come out of Dignitas, and they get rewarded twice for it. But you know, it's those kind of initiatives, is to take the initiative to make a play like that from Milk. That's what's going to put the rounds on the board. Give yourself a little bit of an edge coming into these rounds, and she certainly gets rewarded for it.
That's huge. I'm absolutely loving it. 5-7. Closing in towards the first half here of the second map. Besiktas, those EU giants up against the North American newcomers to the crown. Certainly did well as of late. They're the ones that really kind of nailed a coffin into the old team's secret. And now maybe it's revenge time. But Rain, though, walking that smoke like she knows who's on the other side. Giuliano waits patiently. Good for one, but the second not available. Zaz tries to make the pressure happen from Cat and Short, but Krasi now left alone here through towards middle. And my word is Rain. That's Milk delivering. Milk again finding room in the craziest places. Emily has no idea, and that's the bomb. That is a devastating loss.
That is such a nice round so far from Milk. This pop flash for Thea. But Krasi once again with a huge round. She's got the bomb down in upper B tunnel. And now all of a sudden, Artstar finds herself all alone trying to recover this bomb. But she's got to be a little bit confused. All of a sudden, the round that looked like it was well within their grasp just blows out. And Besiktas out of nowhere once again with Krasi. That is such a nice recovery, really.
I think that's just the brilliance of having a player who can do this. And here we go, Artstar, nicely played. They're not going to be
They're separated though, Lauren.
Exactly, and this is where you can find those 1v1s, where you can punish this. Krasi did manage to kind of hold her own in these situations before, but I get worried here. Artstar has done really well for Dignitas. She certainly has a lot to be said for herself. There's the 1v1 she wanted. The tag is not enough. Besiktas find room to work again. Krasi, that's your round.
Krasi, the 17-year-old, coming in strong once again and saving a round. And you noticed that Petra was down to that scout. These ladies on Besiktas, they were really restricted in their economy and their buy within this round. If they had lost that round and Krasi hadn't saved them once again, they would be on an eco here. So huge round from Krasi, but a nice pick off from Emily to start off this round.
First time we've really seen that as well. This is a bit of a different look, a bit gimmicky as well, pushing up, playing your own kind of just unexpected off angle there, and you're going to see in no man's land. That was Giuliano, swept aside swiftly as Petra now put to task on towards the site itself. The only one really available to do much in towards this. Zaz a mile away, but Petra, she doesn't need support. Petra is good.
She's got an ace. Oh my goodness, that would have been an ace clutch if she got those kills, Lauren.
How is she so good at this
She
game?
is incredible right now, but I've got to say, once again, we've got to point out Milk. She's just going into these bomb sites, making space for her team and creating trade opportunities round after round after round. And more often than not, she's getting the entries for Dignitas side of things. Milk is really, really impressing this half so far.
Oh, what are these tags? Rain and Thea both tagged up. This isn't looking so good. This is a little bit of a tricky one. Of course, the buy for the CT side is far from perfect. It's pretty disastrous, but with those tags coming in, it makes it a little more viable. Slowly but surely, Giuliano trying to set themselves up for success down the line. Could be one following here, just fell off that angle, but finds another. That's great work towards Thea from Giuliano. Molotov goes in, falls away, maybe feeling this could be that B piece, considering it's been Thea in those tunnels the entire time. Maybe a little bit of a read there, but still. Mid to B smoke being lined up, we've yet to see the full hit coming through from the T side. Here it starts, smoke towards middle. Giuliano up above, this time can't do it. Finally gets outgunned, outmanned, and there it is. B is theirs, the take has happened.
It has happened indeed, and this was once again really nicely played from Dignitas. They were a man down in this instance with Thea getting picked off from Giuliano, but a nice simple B mid split, and Milk once again with that entry towards that B bomb site, really allowing Dignitas to get back into this matchup and potentially finish the half up 9-6.
Right, towards Petra. Krasi and Zaz to try and do whatever they can here.
2 flashbangs though.
It's not bad for a retake on B. It can give you some sort of hope, and the hope gets removed by Artstar. And look at the way these rounds played out. You caught a glimpse of it there. The 4-round run at the start set up Besiktas for a way closer game, because once you got in those gun rounds, it was all Dignitas. Now we need to take a second here. I need to catch my breath. That was an incredible half. Let's hope the second delivers. Dignitas currently leading with 9 rounds to 6. A surprising scoreline if you saw the first map of Nuke. This is a resurgence from the North Americans. The European side needs to be aware here, but I wouldn't count them out just yet.
I certainly wouldn't. I mean, Petra, that Petra factor certainly might come up at any moment, but man, Milk, if she continues this performance into the second half, she certainly might just drag Dignitas over the finish line with her. But a nice NOA stack towards this cab, but all the members from Besiktas are going out that long in. Not a single member from Dignitas is spotting it. But with those flashbangs, it should give a tell, and you see the movement from Dignitas quickly going back towards that top A to spot that long cross. But Giuliano in a strong position, but Thea with that nice punish.
Yeah, really good play around the back from Emily and Thea. They're going to be in position. If Milk can stay alive here, be a bit of a surprise factor. No, just gets outdone by Misa. That could have been huge. Maybe slow it down a little bit, buy time for the rest of the retake to come in. Artstar now out on an island, all on her own, gets outdone by 2. Misa there again, trying to tilt the favor, and it's looking good until now. Thea, how much do you want this? How far can you take this round? Because these T's are going to toy with you. You know that timing is going to be played with. You don't have a kit. She'll do everything she can. She knows where they might be, but
this crossfire.
Oh, it's harsh to deal with. It's almost cruel, but it will be first one back for Besiktas. A huge pickup here. And what we were saying about the rounds before is, if you looked at the first half, it was a 4-round run for Besiktas. You picked up pistol and ran with it, and then the turnaround came in for Dignitas. I mean, it's tough, but we could see something similar. I feel like we're going to be back at a very even scoreline before we see that, but this is a big investment from Dig.
This is a big investment from Dig. I mean, they've put all their eggs in a basket once again into this round.
There's so many eggs in that basket.
There's a lot of eggs in this series, Lauren.
Yeah, there certainly is. And honestly, you're right, though. This is a really risky investment. It is a fragile one as well. You've got to be so cautious. You want to be getting those tags. That's what you're buying up for. You're trying to soften that T side so maybe you can get past them down the line. But you know what Besiktas are like. They're not going to take this lightly.
They're not, but I like this buy from Dignitas. They have a lot of utility behind them. I mean, generally speaking, when we see purchases like this, you usually see members going for the stronger guns, or they play a little bit conservatively, but Dignitas buying all of the utility. This should give them some room to perhaps get the round on the board for themselves, but Besiktas are not playing this.
Yeah, they're having none of this game. Emily, unable to get the tags either. This bodes poorly, but look at this play again. This worked out before with Thea kind of working up here, got that pick on Giuliano, but the timing has to be so right if they want to be actually effective in this. The flashes are good. The T-side's getting there. Nice little tags through the smoke. Little do they know what they're doing. Emily only able to find one. I felt there could have been more there. It looked a little bit more dangerous. Rain going to try and pull off the play through the smoke. How is this happening? Is this seriously going to fall apart here? Krasi put basically with the weight of the team on her shoulders. Again, a 1v2. She now needs to go big, and this is going to be a big no from Milk. How did they just turn that? A little bit of a team ace. Everyone getting the frag there.
That was really nice positioning from Dignitas. I mean, members, when you're crossing towards that long A, you do always expect players to possibly push through that smoke, possibly have a pop flash, but you have to focus on that top A. You have to focus on making it to the side, and so that's the opportunity that was given to Dignitas, and they absolutely capitalized on it.
Ooh, we got an interesting buy back in as well. A little bit of the Russian purchase for Misa coming out. Just going to go all in on this AK on her, the rest P250s, bit of armor, deagle or two, very light utility as well. So it's going to be something quite basic, but
you can see
land
a
the shots.
flashbang.
Yeah.
Gonna come out from Giuliano. I think she's gonna flash all 4 members of her team out that long A. So really, this is gonna be one huge moment once again for Thea
as well. Milk is around the back. She is going to have the biggest surprise. 2 kills potentially. So much damage done. She does go down, but the state of the tees is not looking so good. All the information has now been seen. Zaz, Giuliano, Krasi, all a little lower than they'd like. But now the T-side know they have a man advantage, and now they take it further. This is worrying signs for Dignitas. Emily now a little nervous herself. They are going to be going back towards A-long as well. They're kind of building back towards this. You do see Zaz is a little further away from the other. She could just play up through middle.
You can see Zaz, she's going to try to see what's going on over towards that B bomb site before these members actually commit out long A. I think they're going to have to be really patient Besiktas side of things here. They have to allow Zaz to find, but not if Petra just picks off the members from Dignitas like that. And now they find themselves in a huge advantage at 4 versus 2. But the scout from Emily!
It's a 2 for 1! Emily getting away with murder. They almost line up again. Rain.
I so saw her hitting that shot.
Same. It felt so possible. Rain left in the 1v3. 17 seconds. It's so close this round. It has not been a clean affair for either side, but from 0 to hero, Besiktas had so little to work with. And it all fell apart. Rain submerging herself back in the smoke. Looking for that playthrough. Does have a kid, does have the first pick, but it gets taken away from her. And that round, it felt like Dignitas had that so many times, and then they just kept peeking back in, and this is that 2 for 1 again.
I can't believe this round. It was really unfortunate for Dignitas. I mean, you mentioned it, Lauren. Milk with that huge flank from that T-spawn to start off the round. Unfortunately, she's been on fire this entire game, but 4 members on her screen. I'm sure that target selection could have been a little bit overwhelming in that exact moment. But
target-rich environment.
Yeah, that proactive plays from Dignitas, you know, generally speaking, those are the plays that you need on your side. You saw the flashbang coming out from Dignitas for Thea to clear out that long cave, and these are proactive plays that you do need to make. I liked it. She did get punished. The timing wasn't correct for her because that flashbang, it didn't catch anyone in that moment. But so really unfortunate for Dignitas. You know, they did everything right once again, Lauren.
The buyback in, though, heavy investment from the CTs. They're not going to just kind of let this one sit. They're not going to just try and let their money fall back into place anytime soon. They want to punish while they can, maybe feeling that they still have a good shot at this one. Maybe it's the time to strike. The 3-play stack towards Cat coming in. Emily on the side, so a heavy lean on A. We still see Besiktas taking their time.
This is such a close match. Look at the money. Look at the score. Everything is neck and neck at this moment.
Wait, they're making a play.
Oh.
They're pushing this. Krasny not blinded. Misa's there. There's a lot of presence from the T's. Milk though. Oh, Milk again! How is she doing this? 2 huge kills, and now the 3v3. Yeah, she's trying to make the plays. It doesn't work out. Emily, again, tasked with somewhat of an impossible situation, but Milk seems to be able to turn any of these situations around. The tag is not going to get you the round at this point. Besiktas almost back on an even keel.
And once again, Dignitas is in a really sticky scenario. They have no money. They have to be able to save this round, put some money in the bank, maybe get an op into Emily's hands. She hasn't had one this entire second half so far. Makes things a little bit more difficult for themselves, but once again, we have Petra having the one hell of a game and Krasny just right there, right behind her. So things are starting to get a little bit more difficult for Dignitas as Besiktas gets back into the game and ties things up and perhaps even takes the lead within the next 2 rounds here.
Yeah, you've got to expect with the money going the way it is, with this eco coming in, we'll be back at 10-10, and then we'll see what Dig do after that. Their money is really pretty poor, so it might be a little time until they can get that good purchase back in. Any damage done here is a silver lining. They've gone for the stack. You might as well try and make something out of this. You might as well try and make a bit of a play, see if you can catch, Besiktas off. But you can see the way they're playing. You can see the posture they're bringing to this is very passive, very hyper-aware that maybe there's going to be that aggression from the CTs trying to catch us off somewhere.
Definitely, and you could see Dignitas already used their flashbang. Did not get rewarded for it whatsoever, and they're just down to some USPs here. So really, Besiktas need to make sure that they keep this polished, keep this clean, don't give away any guns. Play this as textbook as possible.
They have put themselves up mid. The timing was right. I think Krasny might have a good idea. Definitely hearing some steps. You can see the amount of utility they put down towards it, pulling Giuliano back that way. And the CTs need to find a way through just to get something going for themselves here. Again, I just don't see much coming of this one, especially with Petra's position. You have Misa on the side, and then Zaz ready to swing out on contact. You're pretty much perfectly set here. Zaz already getting a glimpse of one. And again, I don't see them walking away with too many weapons. Maybe just trying to keep them in.
Yeah, I think Dignitas' goal and objective here at this point is to just keep them constricted, see if you can get some exit frags for yourselves. Because again, Lauren, their money is not looking too good at the moment. Oh,
not gonna happen. Good
Yeah.
attempt.
Nicely played from Besiktas to keep that once again nice and clean. They don't lose a single member. And once again, all 5 AKs, just rifles all across the board here. No AWPs in sight. And we are tied in the scoreline 10-10 at the moment, Lauren.
Yeah, this is as close as it's going to get here. I'm waiting to see that breaking point. The CT's going in on the buy, very limited amounts of utility, so this could be a hard one to hold. The Molotov towards long, it's the limited pieces that are at least slowing down the T side. They do have that B tunnel presence though. Keep your eyes on Petra, Giuliano, Misa. They're going with quickening, almost sickening pace to this. As Misa makes her way through middle, she's going to catch him off guard. No idea what was happening. Rain caught with the pants down, and now the pressure towards B is surmounting. Milk has been phenomenal, but she has so many players here. Thea, good support through middle, coming through CT. Milk succeeds towards tunnels, and there's the trade back in. Emily is there to trade off the kill that came in towards Thea. This is still very much in control for Dignitas. It's a little hectic, sure, but if Artstar calms this down, quells the threat in middle, it'd be game over. But no, Giuliano survives, and the 1v2 begins. Emily just gave this to a 1v1.
This is all of a sudden turned into a 1v1. Really nice of Artstar to at least get one there. I mean, you saw the Besiktas members, they heard her footsteps, they knew exactly where she was, and so it's a blessing that she's able to actually get one there and keep themselves within this game. And Milk, she's been on fire. Will she be able... The timing was not looking in the right place at the right time there, unfortunately. And Giuliano, you can see how hyped these ladies are. I mean, they are in it. They've brought it back, and now they've taken the lead. 11-10, Lauren.
That's the round that's going to frustrate me, is losing out on these plays in middle. When you had the player advantage, you're letting a player basically 1v3 you. That's where the tilt begins for me, and I can imagine it's frustrating for Dignitas, but let's see how they deal with this now. They need to just get themselves on a good purchase. They had so little utility. They didn't have the AWP up before, and the T's obviously building their bank quite handily. But now we do see the pistols again. P250s, flash or two. Maybe we could try and capitalize on a player that's a little bit isolated from the others, but it looks like Misa might be on the chopping block, but she has Krasi there as well. They do take down Krasi, unable to get any more there.
Nicely played, nice reactions from Misa there to just stay mobile. Don't let yourselves get killed off by a P250. So nice reactions. And yeah, Besiktas, I mean, they are already up 12-10, but we've got an AWP out for Emily for the first time this second half on Dignitas side of things. That should give them a little bit more breathing room, a little bit more confidence to hold certain angles.
And this is such a huge round. This is the first time you're seeing that level of purchase coming through where they can really put up a bigger fight here as the T's have started to take some sort of control. They've already been pushed back a little bit here, not being so attentive towards long because they've gone for that double stack here. Petra's success towards Milk means B is vulnerable. It means that mid control is now put into question. You're seeing that pressure really starting to build, and this is tricky to hold. Besiktas is starting to really make it tough for Dignitas. Emily needs a way back in here, but you can see there's a time limit on this. The flash
they saw
keeps
her
off, but the frag comes in nonetheless. Misa goes down, it's still a 4v4. Even though in an even situation, the T-side still holds a little advantage on this.
Nice flashbangs coming out of Besiktas side, but Dignitas and Emily, her reaction to that was perfect, and she does punish Misa for not being as aware as she should have been. And in this moment, it's a 4 versus 4 with a minute left. This still bodes well for Dignitas, even though they, generally speaking, it does...
Where's the smoke?
Oh no, Krasi, nice lurk play out mid there.
Oh, and the flash
Where'd that
coming.
flash come
Was that
from?
team flash?
I believe it was.
Was that Rain's flash?
That, I think
it
it
can't
was.
be. She's got 2 flash. I don't know where that came from. I want to watch that back because that literally blinded both of them.
Yeah.
If that was Besiktas' flashes, that was great, but I feel that'd be really unique if it was. And now this is done for. That's a bomb plant. That's 13 rounds. You can't stop that one, Rain, but whatever happened to those 2 players on Cat is a bit of a disaster. And yeah, Krasi's play through middle basically took, who was it out of the picture? It was Emily with the AWP. So this is actually pretty hard to watch now. This is getting to that brutal stage where it's like Dignitas finally looked they had to step into this, but the answer back has been so swift now from Besiktas.
It certainly has been. This is going to be 6 rounds in a row for Besiktas that they're going to put on the board for themselves. This is kind of snowballing out of control if Dignitas aren't able to put a stop to this. Once again, they're really low on this money. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to force buy conservatively with some armor and some pistols on their sides. They do need to save for that AWP to give themselves an optimal chance within this half, kind of get themselves back into the game. But I think they're pausing here to discuss whether they need a force buy here or not, because if they give Besiktas 14 in this half, that is a lot to ask to make a comeback on.
What would you do?
Oof. You know, at this moment, I would not buy. I would. Okay, and there we go. They're gonna go the conservative route. They do need these ops, Lauren. It's Dust 2. Emily has been on fire this entire tournament. I think that's gonna give themselves. I mean, you know, Emily, she didn't have really a chance to play that last round. Krasi had such good timing on her. She was able to eliminate her before Emily even put out a shot. Besides that kill on that cat, so. They need that op, so I like the conservativeness coming out from Dignitas' side.
Good work out for them. You can see the quickening of the pace from Besiktas. They do like this kind of very aggressive round when they feel as though they may be against a lesser buy, and it's going to work out quite nicely, I can imagine, towards B, unless we see something very surprising. And maybe that's a bit of a surprise for all of them. Somehow Rain's kind of gone away with this. It's 3v3. It's not ideal, sure, but it kind of, you know, really switches things up, shakes things up. Giuliano in the most unorthodox of positions, spotting out Rain here, trying to make a play back in. Where are the other 2? It's Emily now joining. Giuliano's going to be slowly working her way up, and they're never going to expect that. No way would they imagine a world in which Giuliano is going to be working from T-spawn of all places. Artstar still towards the site, Petra towards the car. This is a hard retake. They know the ideas, they've got the theory down, but the tags are coming through and the time is ticking. They're running out of it as Petra says no. It's just Emily left alive, and it's Besiktas getting to 14 rounds.
Well played from Besiktas' side of things. And Giuliano, you saw her in that awkward position towards that T-spawn, but you know what? She didn't panic. She made sure she communicated that over towards Misa, who was in that back plat position on B. And Yeah, the things that Giuliano's position made things a little bit too difficult for Dignitas to come back from, but this is it. This is the purchase that they've been waiting for. Emily, once again with that op. And there we are.
That's the start they needed here. They needed something, just on the door, just something to get them to begin with. And let's see if there's a quick response from the T's. It looks like they're happy with a bit of pace to them. And it looks like a fast mid to B, going to try and maybe punish that AWP being pushed up towards long. R-Star's already fallen back, though. So if they want to hit this, they can't do it dry. Smoke goes up. Rain's been pulled back towards it, too. Good Molotov. Doesn't slow down too much. 1-for-1 trade. R-Star dying to get in towards it, and she does. But you still need Milk here. You still need her really to find her ground. Two players looking towards her. Flash comes in. They turn it. The spray's good enough, and the follow-up's even better. Dignitas are back in this run. 4 alive is excellent. They have to keep their money looking strong. They cannot lose out on players now.
Really nice movement across the map from Dignitas' side of things. Emily started off at long A and she ended the round near towards B and that middle area. And really, the hero of this round has got to be Rain. She was in the perfect place at the right time. She only got 1 kill, but she did enough. She did enough damage. She gave some time, bought some time for R-Star to come through and secure that mid. And now we see fast play out towards long. That almost hit.
Wait, Thea could have had so much. No, it's all falling apart. The T side, it's Crassi just ruining the North American hopes and dreams here. Rain and Milk are so far away, and the Besiktas side are not stopping anytime soon. A gap in the smoke is deadly, but it doesn't matter, as Giuliano knows it just as well as Milk is left in the 1v5. Almost no hope here, no step, no chance. The underhand flash goes in. It's a try, it's an attempt, it's a kill, but it's not enough. 15 rounds sit beside Besiktas as Dignitas got overwhelmed and the cracks begin to form towards long.
It definitely is, and you see Besiktas just brute forcing their way out towards that long A, and Crassi, once again, I mean, her focus towards her crosshair placement and just being able to get those multi-kills for the side of Besiktas. Man, Dignitas did not have an answer within that round. They had every opportunity to, though, Lauren. You saw that miss from Emily, just barely.
We're seeing Zaz, Giuliano rolling back the years. They want to make it hurt now. They're just going quickly. They're like, screw it, we've got 15 rounds. We're going to punish you for this excellence that you tried to show to us. The crown is being brought back to Europe at this point. It looks like the finals are going to be theirs. But who will join them? Or is it not over yet? Do Dignitas still have a leg to stand on? You've got Rain, you've got Milk. The last 2 players to try and make a stand for the side. As Rain shows presence, tries to find place. Giuliano working towards long. Milk gets the first. That's the step, but the answer, it comes through from Misa as Rain is left in the 1v3. And there it goes. Crassi is there as Besiktas getting that way to the final.
What a beautiful series from Besiktas, coming out so strong. We've been talking about Petra all weekend long. Day 1, she was so dominant. And in this series, once again, shows up so huge. Dignitas just could not handle the aggression coming out from Petra, all the picks she was getting, and Crassi coming out with all her multi-kills on Nuke and on Dust 2.
So good.
And such pivotal, impactful rounds as well.
And I don't want to overlook the amount of work that Milk put in then for the other side doing something similar. Those kills that she was coming through, those entries, the ability she gave for the side to try and push it further. But Besiktas, I've got to say, they're looking scary.
They're back.
They're back.
Zaz is back. Giuliano is back. I mean, my goodness, these ladies have been fighting for that #1 spot for near 2 years now. And I mean, they are looking as strong as I've seen them. And this is boding really well for Besiktas going into that grand final.
Yeah, we still need to find out who will be joining them there, who their opponent will be. But I get scared when I see this side back in form, when they still look like they've got that aggression, but they have that chemistry, that teamwork to support it. That's where the real beauty comes into this. But it was an absolute pleasure to cast with you, Potter.
Yes.
I've had an incredible time, and hopefully we get to have her back more. Please, DreamHack, can you just hire me and Christine a little bit more? That'd be pretty good. But no, honestly, it was an incredible match to watch. I think that's a perfect semi-final. I'm a little sad it didn't go 3 maps, if I'm honest, but I'm pretty happy with that. And I think we're going to take a break from us. Let's head to the desk to hear their thoughts.
Thank you very much, Pansy. We have our first grand finalist secured, and it's Besiktas continuing remaining undefeated at this entire weekend. It's a really, really impressive performance from them, and perhaps a little bit underwhelming from the side of Dignitas. What are your initial thoughts, guys?
It kind of felt, I was disappointed, I won't lie, right? Especially when it came to Nuke. Nuke was okay. There were a lot of close rounds where if it gone the way of Dignitas, it could have been a closer affair. Dust 2, they had the lead, they had the opening kills, they were playing it so well. but then basic fundamental mistakes being made by a few crucial players. And again, taking nothing away from Besiktas, some of those retakes were phenomenal on Dust 2.
Yeah, and there were some really great moments from the side of Dignitas that really could have swung things around. And I think a key player to point out is actually Milk. She had so many amazing plays that both kept them in the game, but some questionable plays as well.
Yeah, I mean, she went for the extra kill, and that kind of, you know, was the fallback, you know. That caused why they lost eventually the round in most cases. And yeah, that's just sad to see, but Milk has been playing phenomenal, and yeah, Crazy as well. I mean, she had amazing rounds, especially that 1v4, you know?
Yeah, Crazy was great, and Petra as well, really waking up on Dust 2, and obviously it's a map where we've seen her really wreak havoc. For the side of Dignitas, I kind of felt like Milk was obviously the best player. Incredible entries coming in, and she enabled them to get so many rounds.
Especially Emilite as well. I mean, she almost had the first peak as well, and that also, they had, you know, the advantage in the beginning already.
Absolutely, and also when it comes down to what differentiated these two teams, I felt like it was the experience, right? You saw the way Giuliano played that 1v3, for example, calm, patient, composed, and when it comes down to the way Milk played it, for example, she gets the kills, but doesn't know when to stop holding W. Just fall back, take your time, regroup, you can still win the round, instead of just kept going for frags time and time again.
I think if she would have done that, it would have been a complete different map, and Dignitas would have taken this one at least.
But there you have it, Petra, 45 frags, no surprises there. She has been definitely the player to watch in this entire tournament. Crazy as well, so many clutch rounds coming out from her. I'm a little disappointed it didn't go to map 3, but Besiktas just looked clearly the better team in this particular matchup.
They did, yeah.
They did indeed, and speaking of Crazy, she's here with me along with Zaz. So first of all, congratulations, guys. Not only are you undefeated, you're in the grand finals. Tell us what's going through your head right now.
Well, I think, first of all, thanks for all the support. We really appreciate it. I think Dignitas played really well. We had a really tough first half on Dust 2, but then we were managed to like cheer us up and stuff. So I'm really happy how my team did, and I think Dignitas didn't really expect us to play Nuke as well. So I think it was our advantage.
Yeah, what did you think about that map, Vito, and how things went along? Because it was their map pick, and it was such a dominant victory from you guys. So did you actually expect it to land on Nuke, and were you prepared for that?
We were kind of prepared for that, yes. I don't think they expected us to play Nuke. We knew that their best map is Overpass, and we were even ready to play Vertigo if needed. And yeah, we just felt pretty confident. Like we just went in with confidence, and
It definitely showed itself because it was a 16-4 victory. And as you said, Dust 2 started a little bit shakier. It was a 9-6 half for them. So talk to me about that first half when we saw Dignitas playing as well as they did. You know, what were you guys talking about from your side?
I think we were a bit too nervous. We had like adrenaline from the Nuke, of course, and that's why we started shaky. But then we took like a couple of attack pauses. We talked about it. We calmed down a bit. And then on T side, we started to play our game.
Yeah, on T side, things started to get a little bit interesting because there were a lot of different force buy situations.
Yeah, we have a stronger T side actually. We knew it, you know. We were like, let's just do our best as CT, and we're gonna smash them as T.
Well, indeed you did, and now you're moving forward to the grand finals. And this tournament's been very, very interesting because earlier you guys took down CLG Red, now you just took down Dignitas, and those two were the teams that a lot of people were looking at. So now moving forward to the grand finals, you know, is there anyone that you're scared of at all, or are you feeling pretty damn comfortable?
We're definitely not scared. We feel so confident, and that's the most important thing. You can be the best player in the world, but if you don't have confidence, there's no
Then you're probably not the best player in the world, right?
You know, you get my point.
Yeah, for sure. And I can definitely tell the confidence from you guys because once you get that momentum rolling, it feels like the rounds just keep coming in.
Even when you're losing, you still have to cheer up, you know?
Yeah, and now between CLG Red and Demise, who do you expect to be coming out on top? Because Demise surprised a lot of people on day number 1. Do you think they can continue that performance against CLG Red or no?
We were pretty shocked with their performance. Demise, they are looking really good on this tournament, but you can't underestimate CLG. They are like one of the best teams in the world now, so I think it will be like a really interesting match. I think there will be 3 maps for sure.
Do you have a preference for who you face? Don't care?
No.
You'll take down anyone. You're going to become champion no matter what.
As long as we have the confidence, nothing matters. I swear. It's just we're so hyped right now. We really want to win this. We've been practicing so hard for this.
I absolutely love to see it. I loved the energy from you guys as soon as you guys won. Congratulations once again. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you guys in the grand finals, and I'll catch up with you later.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Awesome, guys. Come over and join me on the couch. Let's break down that series because there's so much to talk about. We were talking about Dust 2 briefly here with both Zaz and Krasi, and there's so much to break down. So let's start with that first T side. It looked like Dignitas looked really confident. They were starting to gain those rounds, and it looked really clean at first.
It was, right? And are you talking about Dust 2? Yeah, right, obviously. And what Jazz was mentioned right now, speaking about the CT side, where they were like, we're just going to try and win as many rounds as possible. Our T side was much better than the CT side. Very evident, but what I liked about the CT side was there was still a plan behind it. Those retakes are really on point, and it required Dignitas to kind of play a little bit more proactively to win those rounds, but the CT side, man, it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, and the main thing I felt I kept noticing over and over again was that there was a lot more discipline and control on the side of Besiktas. There were quite a few moments that it seemed like from Dignitas they were a little bit too urgent, kind of getting ahead of themselves.
Yeah, they played more composed, and they knew when to stop the pushes, for example. They had 1 kill, 2 kills, and that was just enough, you know. They just stepped back and relaxed and took, for example, grouped up together and went to site with good flashes and a really good retake, and that's what we saw in the beginning of Dust 2 as well. Whether, and Dignitas, they didn't really show the same presence.
Bled, talk to us about the players. Specifically, I want to hear about Milk as well as Artstar, because I feel like those two players were a large part of the reason why the map kind of got drawn out as long as it did.
Oh yeah, Milk was so very good as entries. Her aim is so very sharp, and I love the way that she set up. It's not just her going in and getting kills all on her lonesome, which she does as well, but just the way Emily and the entire team sets her up, right? But she still has a lot of growing up to do. Like, there are moments like in lower tunnel, she gets 2 kills to the P250 or 5-7, I forget, picks up the AK. It's a 3v3. You have got, you know, quite a bit of map control. You can fall back, regroup towards mid, try and play the man advantage or whatever. Continues to push in. Now, I'm not sure if it's her call or if it's the, you know, the Emily calling for it, saying, go, just keep going for it, go for those kills. But that's something you don't want to see at this level of play, because that's going to get punished hard. And if you look at the way Dignitas played, look at Petra, look at Giuliano, look at all these veterans, you can see how so much more calm and composed they are. And even if they're at a man advantage or a disadvantage, they take their time, they pace it out. They don't really try and go in for the kill and try to close it out early.
Yeah, for example, you had also Giuliano at mid, and she killed one catwalk,
yeah.
And she decided to wait a little bit instead of just rushing towards A, because she knew the enemy team was still on B side.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was just beautiful to see.
And just to point out to that as well, the amount of over-rotations that took place from Dignitas on the CD side was slightly ridiculous, and that was really not going their way because Besiktas, they had such a good read on it. They just make a couple of smokes towards A and immediately 4 players towards A. 1 smoke towards B, everyone's rotating over, and they're just getting cut off while rotating at mid, and that is not the ideal way if you want to win that particular map.
I agree with that for sure, and I know that there's a replay that you wanted to walk us through, so why don't you talk to us through it?
Yeah, this is on Nuke, and I really like what they did here. I think this is Dignitas' T side, yeah. The 1 smoke for Garage, they drop on down, 4 players just charging up upper, and they just smash the C side defense. But then there's 1 player sneaking in from ramp room, and that's crazy. And C-Clutch is such a well-played 1v4.
I think overall, we even heard the players talk about it themselves. It was really surprising. I think a lot of us didn't even expect that Besiktas would be as proficient on Nuke as they turned out to be, but it seems like that was one trick up their sleeve, the fact that they were so prepared on it, because it was clear that Dignitas did not expect that.
Yeah, Dignitas, I kind of felt bad for them because 4 rounds, I think they got 4 rounds on the T side, which is not enough right now with the way Nuke is being played currently, right? But I kind of felt it was unfortunate. If they'd won that round, which Crazy clutched out, and they would have potentially broken the money, they could have at least had 7 or 8 rounds. And when you have those rounds, you have the confidence to kind of...
It could have went the other way around, and it could have been like a 7...
And also losing 4 pistol rounds in 2 maps is not going to get you the win.
Definitely, that's a disadvantage that's really hard to work back from, and unfortunately that did mean that it was a loss for them. But with that, Besiktas is moving forward to the grand finals, and they sit there waiting for their next opponent. It's going to be the winner of our next semifinal match coming up after this break, CLG Red taking on Demise.